but it's also for the individuals to reach their full potential. And I think a lot has been said about why the Eastern Seaboard, besides its endowments. We recognize that if we are to deal with poverty, the triple challenges that we are facing of poverty, inequality, unemployment, which leads to many other things, hunger and so on, we must deal with development where there is poverty. These four regions, districts, which are now a region for development, have 3 of the poorest 10 districts in the country. So that's where poverty is. The 4th district, Utku, is amongst the most unequal, which means those who have a lot, and those who don't have anything. So if you were to take the African population in Uku, it will fit amongst the poorest. So that's why we chose it. But also, as Umam Kappa was saying, we need to know where we come from. We need to look at our history and our reality. The history of this area is edged in struggle. The wars of resistance, the Pondo Revolt, the students themselves, even at this university. In 1977, we know how the students, when the South Africa, the white minority sought to define Africans as non-South Africans. In our own land of birth, we were being defined as non-South Africans. In 1984, we know the strikes, we know what happened here. A lot of students were tortured, killed, exiled, because they were struggling for freedom. So the history and heritage of this region is something we must build on. And of course, education and skills is about investing in our most precious resource. Our most precious resource is not gold, diamonds, not even green gold. Our most precious resource is the people themselves. Because you can have green gold, you can have diamonds and gold under the earth, you can have natural resources, you can even have capital, brick and mortar. If you don't have the people to turn that into wealth, it will not turn into wealth. So if I was asked, you have limited resources and you must do one thing and one thing only, I would educate and skill the people, and they'll figure out what to do with the rest once you've skilled them. So that's why it's so important to skill and educate. But our education, as Mam Kappa was saying, must also include our own history, our own indigenous knowledge. Because we mustn't pretend as though education came from the dromedaries and other ships that landed on our shores. We had our own education, we had our own knowledge systems. We were healthy, which means we had our own health system. So we must not ignore our own indigenous knowledge systems. They take it now, they take it and register it and IP it, and then we hear, no, now this belongs to America. house belongs there, and so important to say to our young talent is spread evenly. If you took 100 French kids, 100 American kids, Chinese, Japanese, South Africans, Nigerians, talent would be spread evenly. What differentiates us is what do you do with talent. It's not that we don't have talent. We have. It's evenly spread. But how you develop that talent determines moves forward or not. So our children must know that they have it. Concentrate and focus on learning, but have every talent is around. But this place also, when we talk innovation, there is a young man that I always marvel at that comes from this place, who innovated. There are lots of them who are still innovating, but somehow we don't acknowledge our great innovators. You know, there is a young man of the soil here who has a planet named after him. Do you know who that one is? Siyaxuza has a planet named after him for his innovation. By the well, Mr. Vimba, he should be part of this. So that's why I'm saying, when he tells his history, he once exploded his mother's kitchen, innovating. But in the end, he is acknowledged for fuel that takes shuttles to Mars and to space. And we should be very proud of him, many others. And pushing them that young children can see and have role models. Yes, I'm not saying others are not role models. And when he was in the US, they actually offered citizenship. And he said to them, if all Africans who skills and innovation remain here, who will develop Africa? And didn't take it and came back. So, and our country has everything actually to develop. The developed countries developed on what we have. This region, the epitome, paradox of Africa, and the paradox of Africa with poor Africans. Why? Why do we have a rich Africa, and South Africa included, but poor Africans? Why? Because we have to be given the responsibility of materials. These developed countries have developed on this continent. And we add ourselves using those materials to develop our own continent. And I think it's time. And in the Eastern Seaboard, in this region, we must make sure that we are export raw material. That we get into the value chain of whatever, even green gold, get into the value chain. Because they are going to want us to export. They extract, manufacture, and they send it back to us. We can't afford it. Because when you export raw material, you're exporting jobs for a start. You are exporting high-level jobs. Because if you mine and take the products and put them on the to other countries, you are exporting goods that are going to beneficiate, that are going to process. Secondly, we are exporting revenue, because by that time that product is a finished product, is probably 10 times more the value that you sold it for. So let's stop doing that in this Eastern Seaboard as a start. So our is in our TVETs and our colleges are critical to ensure that we manufacture. In the Eastern Seaboard, the East Coast basically, there is no big fishing company. They are in the West Coast. Let's let our young people, our people, are able to fish, they are able to process the fish, they are able to export processed. I didn't hear, but I heard a lot about, which is wood and coding, but I didn't hear about agriculture, much about it. Food for survival is number 3. Oxygen, it's water, and it's you can have all the robotics. I'm not saying they should be there. If we don't have food, we won't be able to use them. So agriculture is critical. And when you have agriculture, you do agriculture. You're a big business person. Because even the big scientists have not yet told us that human beings other than food. That's what fuels us. And we were not very efficient with fuel. Sometimes we fuel 3 times a day. Some fuel all the day. So agriculture is very important. And I hope that in the skills revolution, agriculture will be part of that, especially here, because there's fertile land. Abantwana begazi banawuhlaba, it's productive. I just wanted to emphasize the issue of agriculture. But even in agriculture, it's not just the primary product. We must also go in the entire value chain. I once visited a company in Congo. Exports vegetables and flowers to the UK. And what they've done, they've trained local people to produce and flowers to their specifications. And they have a plant there that bouquets the flowers, that prices them, and vegetables, they do the same. Right. There is a Boeing, a big Boeing that takes that to the UK. Straight supermarket in the pots and on the tables of the British. But if they were, and they're making a lot of money, including the locals. But if they just take a big box of flowers, then the jobs for bouquet, for pricing them, be in them. And the jobs for putting those vegetables, packing them, in the UK. So, very important. And of course, but make sure that we create jobs. And our universities must ensure that when we train, but we train creators. If we're going to build a new city, we need everyone. Who's going to plan that city? Who's going to build the rail, the road, the app? Who's going to be servicing the city? Who's going to be doing the IT, be doing anything and everything? Yes, the city may be built, but it may not be. The people who are poor here, they remain poor unless they are skilled. And I've never understood, maybe professors who will speak on the podium will explain to me. I've never understood how an engineering student leave the university and they say, no, they can't be registered because they still have to do practicals or something. Just explain to me. Can you imagine a doctor having been trained as a doctor and then you are told, no, you still have to learn to look after a patient? Shouldn't you together? So that at the end of the day, an engineering student can go and get a job and be an engineer and be registered. So I'm just asking because I've never understood it. And I think we must change I'm just using it as one example, there are many. Even our innovators, we assist their IP. Because on the continent, we know lots of innovation that has been, IP has been registered by other people. And so the innovators are not getting what they should be getting. So those aspects, I think, should be looked at as part of this skills. But as I said, we need all the skills. But a country develops from its own history and its own reality. We have a rich culture in this country. Creative arts. Creative arts are a big employment. If you're producing a film, every skill. You're going to need a lighting engineer, you're going to need engineer, you're going to need a cinematographer, you're going to need a caterer, a costume designer, you're going to need, before you get to the actresses and actors that we look at. You're going to need people who do makeup, hairdressing, fleet management. You need everything, accountants. Just one film will employ a people. But how many kids do we support in those? We watch American films, and when America wants to influence the world, a film about it. Not saying DDG. We promote not only here but in the world. So I think as we look at skills development, we should look at our rate. Yes, the fourth industrial revolution is important, but a lot in our history. Because if we don't do that, we get lost. Layers of raw material, and other people will develop on it. So the presentation, the overview, and I saw the complaint I always have when we have that overview. Why is not there? Why is Mtata not there in those points? I think it should be. Those, even person should be there in those. Yeah. We are in Mtata. You can see it there. So I think we just need to correct that a bit. So cities that we want to build must make sure everybody has decent living environment before the designers start designing the city, so that we have resilient human settlement which can withstand disasters, lives, but which the residents can also know. It's not just for disasters. They must be safe for every women, children, ability. If it's 3 categories, it will be safe for everyone. It will also be safe for men, safe for those. And health, education, recreation facilities, and many others should be accessible. Clean water, dignified sanitation, transport. I was saying earlier on, energy. I saw it about wind and hydrogen. But one of the most abundant things that can get energy is the sun. It's in every municipality, all 17 of them. There is solar. Why are we leaving it? It must be part of it. We must have roads. We can't go back. Fourth Industrial Revolution, DM, means high-speed rail. And it must be in that city. Must have vibrant economy. Of course, it must have broadband that's given, because part of the fourth industrial revolution. But it must have a vibrant economy, creating jobs, but it must also build on our culture, on our culture, on agriculture. South Africa, there used to be a slogan about tourism in South Africa. And that slogan said, South Africa is a world in one country. And I still believe that is true. I don't know why we did away with that. It is indeed a world in one country. Tell me one thing that a tourist would like that you can't find in South Africa, except polar bears or things like that. But otherwise, almost everything that a tourist would like to see, you can find in South Africa. And so tourism should be one of the things that we really do. But I always say something. When a tourist to choose a destination, one of the things they look at, but we don't have our cities in the international weather forecast except in Cape Town, not even Cape Town. Just a simple thing. You want to see if you stay and they go to a nice place, so you look at the weather forecast. And if your city is not there, how is the tourist going to know you exist? So those are just the small things that we should be doing. So I stopped. A lot has been said, so I don't want to repeat things that have been said. But I want to also quote is very of struggle. I want to quote the sons of finest sons of this soil, or Artambo, which you have named the municipality after. I quote, "The children of any nation are its future. A country, a movement, a person does not value its youth and children does not deserve its future." If we abuse children, we don't deserve. If we abuse women, I don't think we deserve a future. So, not only should we not, UNICEF says the children have the first call on our houses. The children have the first call on our resources. That's why we are here, and look forward to the change that we face, especially business people with our Nkosi, but more also with our universities and private leaders. Before I conclude, I've not visited many TVETs, I must admit, so that nobody says I'm biased. But I visited Moteo in the Free State. I think it's amongst the best. I've not visited others, so, but I think it is. It is because, one, the breadth and depth of the skills they produce there. I mean, I was so impressed. They don't have a sea there, but they train young people by making leisure boats. They put them on the lakes there. And us who are on the coast, we don't. So I'm just saying I was really impressed. They do almost everything, from hairdressing, beauty, so that jewelry, instead of umamkapha ingane zethu azikwazi ukuthinta igolide. We must teaching them to beneficiate jewelry, but all the technical skills are there too. The engineers, the architects, agriculture is there, fashion design is there. What is not there? I really love that Mateo. I hope others are like them. So if they are not, they should be. But the Eastern Seaboard, they make furniture, office furniture, you name it, they do it practically. They teach them how to do it, and then they make the furniture. You go and see it, you can buy it. So I hope that, yes, the plans and all that, Mateo, maybe others, you can point me to others, but I'm just using them because I visited them twice. And fortunately, they had the activate, so I hope she can influence others. So let us all work together, from the private sector to academia. Of course, it's a giving. Is Nkosi must us. Of course, in government, we have tried now to work together. And that's why there are work streams of different. And we are also looking at developing partnerships, but also can get others. Egypt is about to finish their new city. That's why we're also partnering with them. DM went there and had a study tour there. There are lots of others who are building new cities. But that city must be clear. It's a city built in democracy. It must be a city that is clear, it's in the government. It must be a welcoming city. It must have institutions of excellence. It must be talents that exist here and other parts of the country. So I look forward in a year. Now we talk in Africa. We talk. We plan. We talk about policy. And we say we have very good policies. Do you know they are good if you haven't implemented them? So the summit is not about talking. Yes, we talk here, but when we leave here, execution, implementation. It's February now. In December, I think we should have another summit. Not to talk, but to say in February we're here, now we are here. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our Minister another round of applause. Thank you so much, Minister. There's no words I can actually even repeat. It's just so awesome and amazing. So we will now proceed to the issuing of certificates to our prospective bursary students. So I would like to welcome to the podium, firstly, the Convocation Secretary General, and that is Mr. Mishak Mugabe. I would also like to welcome to the podium our CEO. Is here. I also wanted to then welcome to the podium Bubeni, and I wanted to then welcome all the prospective students who will be Could I then please ask, is it Sam? I don't see him yet. Is Sam in the room? Okay, Sam, please come forward. Okay, the way of proceeding, the way we will do this is we will get, you're going to call the names. Okay, we will use the CEO to call upon each of the prospective persons that will receive a bursary, and then of course we will have the handover coming from our minister. Thank you, Mr. Vimba. Can I hand over to you?
Thank you very much, DG. I will call the names of the bursars. I must first indicate that we have awarded 21 bursaries within the Eastern Seaboard cities, University of KwaZulu-Natal, and Walter University, as well as Nelson Mandela University. There are students who could not make it, so we'll then call those who have managed to make it. So we'll start with Nkosazana University of Technology, Smela Ngobile. Smela Ngobile is doing National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Mhlengi Mpancha. Mhlengi Mpancha is also doing National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Then we'll move to Nelson Mandela University. Portes Tumile. Tumile is doing Bachelor of Engineering Technology in Civil Engineering. And from Walter University, we have 14 bursars, and Zasi Abuya, National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Simelane Avumile, National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Nkanjeni Smamkele, National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Mahlangeni Sango, National Diploma in Electrical Engineering. Tunulwana Nge, National Diploma in Electrical Engineering. Nweta Luto, National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Masolo Pumlani, National Diploma in Electrical Engineering. Mzimeli Lwanele, National Diploma in Electrical Engineering. Natalihle, National Diploma in Civil Engineering. Ntsari Wenziwe Bule, National Diploma in Mechanical Engineering. Mahubelela Zukanye, National Diploma in Mechanical Engineering. Thank you very much.
So congratulations. We expect a lot from you. We expect a lot from you. We also expect that when we are done, we are not going to go to Germany or America. You will plow back in your own country. Do we agree on that? Okay. Thank you very much. You can go to further your studies there, but come and work here. So thank you very much. We're done with that.
No, thank you so very much. Congratulations to all the recipients. And in fact, we have looked at 100 recipients across the country, and we've just drawn the ones that we've given here today. So really well done, and congratulations to each and every one of you. Time has now come for us to have a rendition once again by our choir. So we hope we are ready. I see some of us are getting tired, but please, you can stand up with energy much earlier, and just one rendition. Thank you very much. Leave it. Sorry, leave it now. Let him just play. Thank you. No, thank you to the choir. We will give the choir only a well-deserved break. We will ask you to maybe proceed to go to the stairs where you'll be given something to drink and eat. In the meantime, we will proceed with our program. And really, at the part of the program now where we will go into our panel discussions, and we will perhaps do one panel discussion, and hopefully by the time we are done with it, we should actually be able to then get to our lunch break. So I'd like to then call upon the facilitator who will come and look at the first theme, and that is the curriculum alignment for the development. So I would like to call on Dr. Stephen Matlolokwane forward, and then all the panelists to also please come forward. For this panel, we've got from Sisulu University, Prof. Masele. We've also got from the South African International Maritime Institute, Mr. Odwa Mtate. We've also got from UKZN, Prof. Chipungu Magidimisha. We also have from Moteo Tsitsi, and then from WC President, who's looking at placing youth on the forefront of the skills revolution, to also please come forward as panelists. And I would have liked to have handed over to the facilitator. Okay. Okay, so you have an hour. Yes, now it's 12. You should be done by, let's say, 1.
Thank you so much, DG. A round of applause for the DG. Thank you, thank you. Honorable Minister, Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, Deputy Ministers who are in our midst, the Vice Chancellor, Amakosi, Nenkosi Phakathi, MECs, and of course all leaders of the House of Traditional Affairs, in our midst, as well as the DDGs who are present, including my DDG from Nation, CEOs, academics who are in our midst, public officials, distinguished guests. Good morning. Is this morning? My name is Stephen Muhlokwane. I'm from the National School of Government. I'm the Chief Director at the National School of Government. To be present, excited to be partners, a partner initiative. Fellow panelists, welcome. The brief I've been given is that preferably we would want you to talk to us as opposed to your presentation slides, etc. But if you so wish, perhaps accommodate. But we have only 1 hour to this session. The plan is that you'll give your overview and you'll respond to critical questions we have. Prepared and I think you've shared the questions with us. So as you present, you'll be responding to those questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we
are going to employers, and that is the intention of us having the interaction with all the community members. And we say create innovators and independent thinkers. So first thing, we have a center which we call Center for Incubation internship repute in the ferry incubator. This center is meant to bridge those skills mismatch that we have, as I've indicated. So we aim at transforming our job seekers to become job creators. And the center, you won't have enough money if the traditional leader takes back the land. So farmers are not yet there in terms of the issues of getting funding and also the source of markets. Sourcing of markets, I'm finishing off. Sourcing of markets and agri-processing issues, that also becomes a challenge. So we need to provide seed funding for them. And as we look at the issues that we are saying, in terms of the workforce, how can we improve what we're doing? I am happy that we are sitting in this room. I think we need to collaborate more than what we are doing. And I think our funding model also needs to also address the SMMEs, so that when we place our students, we don't not only place them in big companies, we need to place them even at SMMEs, because then they will have role models to say, if this one has made it, then it means we can also try and do that as well. So I think I also want to challenge the basic education curriculum to say, maybe it's time to really, our curriculum to talk to each other, especially when you talk about STEM programs, because you fill all other programs very fast. But when it comes to programs that needs mathematics, science, and all that, it becomes a problem. And as I conclude, I want to say to the Deputy Minister, Kapa, what you have said that you should go into the communities, into the rural communities. We are saying at WSU, dikuvile sizozenza ezo zinto. And to the Honorable Minister, we are grateful that you have given us this opportunity. I think this is overdue, but it's never late to address these issues. We need to work together. Universities are here to serve the country. And if we can just join hands and work together, I think this problem will be something of the past. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, we are pressed for time. That is why we are pushing. Thank you so much. I heard a number of things that are critical, actually concepts that actually, as we go forward, among others, your inclusivity, working with communities. That's nothing about us without us. It's so true that we cannot leave the communities out there. You're also dealing with issues of technology. There's this, what we call technophobia out there, especially for old people. You're bringing them, you are educating them. And then you're coming up with a new curriculum, a new program on agricultural technology. Excellent, and you talk partnerships. Thank you so much. Without any waste of time, now I'll call upon Mr. Malonde Nkosazana from SAIMI. He is a PhD candidate at Nelson Mandela University, specializing in maritime spatial planning, stakeholder engagement, and tourism. He holds a Master's of Arts in Development Studies with a research focus on maritime. He also holds a graduate diploma in maritime studies, which was completed at Nelson Mandela University. And has conducted research and stakeholder engagement for development of the Eastern Maritime Master Plan. He has been in many projects, including maritime education and skills development. Over to you, sir. Thank you. A round of applause for Mr. Nzaliba.
Good evening, everyone. Is it evening or afternoon? The thing is, I arrived very late last night, so I may have thought that it's still. Greetings to everyone. The deputy ministers, may I see the MMC here, DGs, and in the room. It's not an easy task, program director, because I am requested to speak on behalf of the CEO of the entity, Mr. Odom Tati. to just 10 points. Of course, addressing the questions that you have asked to us to respond on. But quickly to run to what are the initiatives or strategies that would have had as an entity to address the issue of skills gap / skills mismatch. As an entity, you would know that our task or our mandate borders around two things. But because we understand the nature of the terrain that we're working in, we had to extend it to further. But one, we are charged with the responsibility to facilitate and coordinate skills development and capacity building within the maritime industry. The second mandate borders around the research, innovation, and technology. And these two are enablers to what was identified in the Operation Package as the focus areas. So with that understanding that for any of the subsectors identified under Operation Pagesa, for South Africans to participate, and of course to achieve the transformation, you've got to infuse the skills part of it, because you would not participate in the space wherein you do not understand the space itself. Find it difficult to operate. And therefore, as a result of that, we would have commissioned skills audit reports. One in marine manufacturing, 2 oil and gas, 3 coastal and marine tourism, 4 ocean governance, and the others that are on the pipeline, marine transport, and the other one on aquaculture. We have it on aquaculture. But at the center of what we wanted to achieve when we commissioned those skills audit was to understand the terrain, to understand what are the skills that are needed in the sector, what are skills that are there, what is that we can do to ensure that at the level of participation and the training, South Africans find expression in the sector. So we have those skills audit. And when I heard that the working committee for the Eastern Cape Seaboard, and I saw the list that Simon were not there, and I thought perhaps there would have been a mistake to exclude us, because we are the secretariat of the skills initiative around the oceans economy. So I thought, let me just make that program director. Perhaps in your consideration, you may include us. We may add valuable information in terms of what are the skills that might be needed to enable the work of the Eastern Cape Seaboard. But running quickly to what are the activities currently undertaking support the growth of the oceans and point of view. We are running several programs. One of them, which is the bone of, is a national state development program. So in that program, it actually tries to address and Mamuchapa, the part of on-job training, the part of integrating the theory class versus the practice, so that when you get out of university, you are able to actively participate in the sector. But because of the time, I would have given just a brief background on it. The nature of funding model of Department of Higher Education in some instances hampered with that program, because funding you for the duration, so they pay the university the first tranche when you enter, the last tranche when you exit the system. But with the NSDP program, which was built on a wheel, you would do S1 and S2, which is semester 1 and semester 2, and then you'd go to a vessel at sea. to complete the other part of your practical, and then come back and complete your theory, and then you can graduate. Some of those learners who would have gone for that part at sea to do their sea time, they would not come back because they would have been paid in dollars there and see no need to come back and complete the studies. And that had an impact on the universities in terms of their throughput, because they don't come back and it affects their funding model. So the university decided to say, you know what, let them do the full 3 years, but they are not going to graduate. They must still go and do their sea time, 12 to 18 months. So what we identified as SAIM, of course, the maritime industry, was that these learners, some of them, they are from Engcobo, some of them here in Port St. John's. They've never interacted with the companies because South Africa does not own ships. And therefore, for you to have that experience, you need to work on an international ship. So they don't have that interaction or connection with the industry. And then therefore, SAIM is stepped in the back of the SAMSA program to ensure that these they don't get excluded. So we are using 2 service providers and MCS to get these learners from university when they're done DUT and CPUT, get them to the program, they get trained on the auxiliary trainings, and then these companies, they facilitate their placement on the international ships. And then when they are done, they come and graduate. They are seafarers now. They can go and work anywhere. So that's a program that we're doing as part of ensuring that and young people in particular are participating in the sector. But to that, because I said earlier that we have commissioned the skills audit reports, we have commissioned, and out of the outcome that would have come out of that is one of the subsectors that requires lots of skills and need skills. So as SAIM, we are working with the Falls Bay College to place those learners. We've got a number of them that are there that are doing that apprenticeship. Starts from learnership up to the artisan. And in there, we have a targeted approach in our training, where we support the training. We ensure that you get the training, and you don't just get the training, you're also able to secure a job after the training. So wherever we make those interventions, we partner with companies. And in this instance, we have partnered with 2 companies, Robertson and Kane in Cape Town, and 2 Oceans. But last, before I sit down, on a number of other things that we are doing, Mamukapa, we are coming straight to the communities where they are. The fishing rights that were given to the cooperatives here in the Warta as part of that there, we have come to them. We have been training them. I worked with SAMSA before, we're working with SAIMI, we're giving them the training where they are. Because what we want to do is not to burden them with the traveling cost to and from these areas. We simplify the information, we go where they are, we provide the necessary training for them, because out of them, we want to produce job creators, not job seekers. So these are the programs that we are running as SAIM, but others are on larger scale. We have just commissioned now a value chain analysis of the maritime industry, wherein we ensure that the active participation of the SMMEs find expression there. Because many people, they want to get into the maritime industry, but they don't know where to enter. So that value chain analysis will unearth to enter in the space and the bottlenecks, and where we find bottlenecks, we'll then be able to resolve the policy. And if it is has funding, we'll deal with the funding part aspect of it. But I've got a lot of details, which I think this room, that information would be necessary so that everyone else knows what SAIM is doing, and it's an active partner that now to work with around the issues of skills development. We've got other colleagues that work with around the skills development programs. COGTA, we've got a as well here in the program, a number of other initiatives. So if we become this seaport as an entity, we believe that there's a contribution that we have made in the work of the Thanks so much.
I think I just lobbied very strongly for Saimi to be included. Definitely, the message has reached home. Thank you. Thank you. You say we must understand the context. It's critical. You say you also are taking care of placement, which is an outcry there that you train and you don't place us. Excellent. Thank you so much. Now we move into the next one. We will move with speed, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, because time is not on our side. In our midst, we have Professor Kutsisi, who is the principal of Motel, all the way from Blue, and the president of South African Public College Association. She has attained a lot of awards, among others the Ian Carey Award received from the chair of Leadership Academy in Texas, America, 2014 for outstanding leadership. A Driver for Change Award, Vision 2030, offered to her by the Physical President of Africa. An honorary professorship in TVET education by the Academic Union Oxford in the UK. She is heading an internationally recognized multi-award winning institution that received awards across Europe and even nationally for quality and excellence. Prof, talk to us. Thank you.
Direct to the minister, the deputy ministers in attendance, the general, the allow me to say all protocol is observed. Mr. Pilwani Putsisi, as indicated, I'm with me, I'm accompanied by members. The BEC, Mfanda, and Mema, the members of our council supporting the institution daily. Right, Mr. Nigel Olin, and I also have got colleagues, Mr. Phillips, who is an architect. Yes, we have brought him to witness this and contribute through his skills in establishment of smart city. Supported by principals, I saw Mr. Nkonyani, and if there are any colleagues of mine in the room, may you please indicate. Minister, let me start thanking you for bringing us here. You visited our college with the president, and Ramaphosa, and you loved what we do. In an attempt to answer the question in terms of existing and planned initiatives, I've got a very short video of the college to showcase what we have as an existing activities in terms of skills development. If our media people could assist me quickly. Please start with the first one. Sorry, just pause there. There is another one that, this one, it's a different project. Yes, what we have done, we have captured moments of the college in a video for all to see what we have done, the institution, and how we contribute towards skills development. Are you okay now? All right. Motel TVET College was originally under administration with a pass rate of 6% with a total enrollment of 30,000 students. Yes. It was a horror story, but we made a decision, council and of the institution, that we're going to rise from the ashes and become who we want to be. We have taken a decision to review our qualification mix. First, we started with the vision statement of the institution, that we are a gateway to employability, not a long-winded English sentence that was defining who we are. Being a gateway to employability would be as students and graduates to be self-employed or to be employable in any space. We looked at our program qualification mix. We looked at the scarce and critical skills. We looked at a number of things, the Free State Growth and Development Strategy. We looked at many other strategies of government, and for us to align our program offerings. We looked at the oceans economy operation, and we said, what is it that we have as an institution where we can bring about change? Muteo doesn't employ the services of plumbers, electricians, or cabinet-making people. We do furniture for ourselves. We furnish our offices. Furniture is done by the and in a workshop. We furnish households. We furnish households. You give us a design, we do it. We want to showcase that a TVET college in itself, self-rounded. You don't have any that is not a college. We recently have refurbished what is that? A library, used library, and we made it a center. It's said to our lecturers and students, those doing electrical engineering going to electrify, is it to electrify? Yes. Yes, they did that. Those in IT would do connectivity issues. Those in furniture making, they did those desks. And instead of paying 700,000, we paid 215,000 to be able to do everything ourselves. We bought the material. It is just that the media is taking long. I'm afraid of my program director. As a college, we've seen a number of countries, as it has been said, that we received awards across Europe. We were identified by different people that we never knew, that we never met. But as they were researching, they invited us to showcase what we are doing as an institution. So wherever we received awards on quality and excellence, because I visited a college. Principal thereof was a multi-award winner myself. And I went to visit and see what is it that makes her so outstanding. And I found running a restaurant there. They commercialized a hospitality department. And I said, when I go back home, this is exactly what I'm going to do. When people in our colleges say, or institutions, there are no workplaces, you create it in your college. We created a workspace, revamped our hospitality. It was just an open room with chairs and tables. It's a five-star restaurant now. We went to our council and requested them allow us to commercialize all our lab, whether it's nail technology and hospitality, art and design. We commercialize those. Our farm, we came up with to commercialize the college. And with that restaurant, our interns, we employ interns to work with our restaurant manager. Young people, they do different types of dish, and they get out of the college fully matured and ready for the workspace. It's a way of income for the college. It is a skills development platform. It is a way of showcasing what education is about. Gone are the days when people would be working at the universities, but we are the main heartbeat of the economy. If our government could look into that and review the funding norms for TVET colleges, that would help this country to reduce highly on high employment rate. What we did, we entered on a desktop page and compared the Operation Pakisa strategy on the work streams on ocean economy. We looked at our current program qualification mix. We looked at the Free State growth and development strategy, and we said there's all 7 streams the college fits in. When you look at issues of hospitality and tourism, we are there. There is we have students who are capable. We have hair and beauty technology. Our students on their own went on ships, they got employed. Not very fully equipped to be in the maritime industry. So we took a decision that we'll offer maritime, despite the fact that we are an inland institution. And Free State is big dams. Why not to think of the sea when you've got water all over? We've got engineering, we've got welding, we've got upholstery. You know, those people, you just give them a fiberglass, you give them a mold, they build you a boat. You go to macro, you get a propeller, they put it on the boat, voila, you have it. But if you want to be more comfortable, you call your upstairs students and lecturers to give you a better looking boat. It serves on tourism. We'll soon be having motel boats in every state. Yes. We have one boat at the moment, fully branded to the college. It's part of commercialization, it's part of building skills, it's part of training. As we were moving around the dams, we realized that the owners of boats in the dams and rivers are aging, and there's nobody taking over from them. Our young people are out there, we're talking about high unemployment rate, we're crying out, but there are huge opportunities that are lying out there. So we have taken a decision that we'll build boats. We have transport and logistics as a course at the college. There is marine transport. We are accredited as an institution to offer 4 qualifications in maritime. We did it ourselves. We took it upon ourselves that we leave the institution, go and research, and collaborate and enter into partnerships. Certain challenges. As I said, funding norms are not aside. There is an inverted pyramid. The government is focusing more on universities. They are leaving out the heartbeat colleges. As the president of the South African Public Colleges Organization, Minister, my institution has become some kind of a consultation. We have recently housed 29 TVET colleges. Come and share practice. For us not to be this thing, but to show that it is possible. What must be done to create a competent workforce for the seaboard development? We are leading the work stream on skills revolution, thanks to colleagues for allowing me to Vimba and DG to lead the work stream. We are chairing that work stream whose work is witnessed today. We're having the Skills Revolution Summit as an outcome, a product of and deliberations at the work stream. As an institution, we have availed our resource. That's why I've brought Philip in. I will be bringing more colleagues to work with TVET colleges in this area. And we will be, I've done a presentation, but my program director wouldn't allow, where I have showcased pockets of evidence of TVET colleges in particular from the Eastern Seaboard area. they have all that we need. It's just for and work together. Thank you, Program Director.
Thank you so much. My apology for you. You this TVET college to be so sexy and yeah, the video is ready. Okay. Thank you.
Located in Bloemfontein, in the heart of the Free State Province. Department of Higher Education, Science and Innovation. Our slogan, the gateway to employability, underlines our vision and mission. It represents the growth and development of our students towards employability, especially entrepreneurship opportunities. Accredited by the British Standard Institute on ISO 9001-2015 standards, Moteo TVET College offers business, utility and engineering studies across its Hillside View, Tabanchu and Bloemfontein campuses. Communities in the Moteo and Garib districts are served by campuses in Botshabelo, Zastron and Bloemfontein. Currently, almost 20,000 students are registered across all campuses. Each of these campuses boasts unique attributes, specialist facilities and expertise, allowing the college to provide a wide range of programs and services to communities without undue duplication. Our program mix responds to the priority skills demanded by the modern economy of South Africa. Aspiring entrepreneurs and artisans can choose from the following NQF levels 2 to 4 3-year training programs: Information Technology and Computer Science, Engineering-related Design, Electrical Infrastructure Construction, and Civil Engineering Construction. Trimester programs like Heavy and Light Current Electrical Metalwork and Mechanical and Civil Engineering are offered at Hillside View, Tabanchu and Koffiefontein campuses. The CETA-accredited NQF Level 4 1-year time students with the skills needed to become a professional hairdresser. Those to join the wonderful world of beauty therapy can complete our 1-year beauty and nail technology program. In the corporate field, a variety of offer will prepare students for the competitive business world, like finances, economics and accounting, resources, business and financial management, office administration, and management assistance. With our NQF Levels 2 to 4 programs in education and development and our Educare N4 to N6 course, graduates can teach, take care of small kids, or open their own creche. Our food preparation and catering training program will suit those interested in hospitality. The practical applications are implemented in well-equipped and now in restaurants. The Free State Province is a popular tourist destination with game hunting, water sports, and a rich heritage. Completing our tourism course opens doors to becoming a tour guide both locally and abroad. For the creative souls, we offer training in visual arts and design with specialization in drawing, painting, ceramics, graphic design, and jewelry manufacturing. Safety and society and transport and logistics programs add value to our program mix. Currently, our inclusive education assists 400 differently impaired students to become qualified and enter the job market. Learnerships and skills training are essential ingredients of our programs. We offer practical training such as mechanical skills, upholstery, cabinet making, spray painting, and motor body repair in accredited workshops. On-the-job training in pig and chicken farming and vegetable and crop growing happen on the college's property at Plot 32. Our entrepreneurship project at the Centre Rapid Incubator equip graduates to open small businesses as an additional exit opportunity. Currently, the project covers jewelry manufacturing, graphic design and printing, welding, clothing manufacturing, robotics, and general construction. total of 68 new small businesses and 45 jobs were created to make a difference in the lives of the new owners and their families. This concept received buy-in and attracted funding from the Services Seater Board, which committed itself to the project and offered 450 million rand. 321 learners were placed as interns and 2,005 jobs were created, inclusive of people with disabilities. The academy was built to address the national call to train qualified artisans. This flagship project of Mateo TVET College allows artisans to do trade tests in the Free State. Each student will also in the industry upon registration. The programs to be offered were identified through a joint research by Mateo TVET College, Services Seater, Central University of Technology and University of the Free State. The team identified scarce and skills, occupational skills programs as an academy. Mateo TVET College has been selected to be among the few colleges to be centers of excellence for both Hawaii and Cisco Digital Academies in South Africa. The academy will host 13 computer labs, 2 IT skills labs and 1 robotics lab. Facilities at the academy: 3 workshop buildings, each with 12 workshops and a trade test center, and 7 classrooms per building with capacity of about 360 learners per sitting. 16 standard theoretical classrooms with a capacity of 560 learners per sitting. 60 computer labs with a capacity of 408 learners. 96 rooms with 172 learners per hostel, 6 rooms for 12 disabled learners, study rooms, laundry and 2 matron houses. Kitchen and dining hall with a capacity of 402 seated at dining tables. Multi-purpose hall with a capacity of 400, student centre, sick bay, meetings and a gym. Admin offices with 17 offices, 2 boardrooms and a staff room. The furniture making and welding workshops at Hillside View campus have manufactured furniture for the academy. Based on thorough research, aircraft maintenance and maritime studies has been introduced as a new field of study at the college. Boat building, underwater welding, hair care and beauty technology, transport and logistics, and hospitality and tourism with a maritime theme open this exciting world of training in the Free State province of South Africa. The college introduced aviation at Hillside campus in partnership with Kapano Flying School. Farming management and primary agricultural programs at Plot 32 and Zastron campus in partnership with farming community in Zastron area. Extramural activities at the college include soccer, athletics, netball and chess. And our choir has won the TVET choir contest numerous times. We are proud of our elite partnerships. International accreditation has been attained by the Association of Technicians to offer NQF levels 2 to 5 programs. International partnerships were established in colleges at West Lothian in Scotland, Coleg Gwent in South Wales, Warwickshire College Group in Leamington Spa, and Heart of Worcestershire College in Redditch, UK. An agreement with the Deutsche Gesellschaft für internationale Zusammenarbeit links the Mateo TVET College with the renewable climate projects of this association in Germany. Maastricht School of Business in Netherlands. Agricultural CETA accredited training, mixed farming systems and animal production are taking place. Service level agreements have been signed with municipalities in the Free State for the water sector related learnerships. Service level learnerships and the placement of learners and interns. The college has recently established the following business partnerships to harness training and development. SAMSA for maritime compliance and capacity building. Stellenbosch University Water Smart Agri Training Project. Agri-CETA for student funding in farming and agricultural studies. MICT CETA for 4th Industrial Project. Mangaung Fire Department for maritime training facilities. Adapt IT, student placement reality for maritime studies. SA Navy, student placement and staff training. Ford South Africa.
License or on a particular certificate, on a
that body maybe is having their own processes and the strategic issues. There is no alignment.
Okay.
Secondly, program director from the work stream side also and from the department side. Also, we contribute as a department, we contribute as a municipality, we contribute as professional bodies installing progress in these issues. You've got plans of the Eastern development. You've got departments. You've got a professional body that, for instance, to be frank, that is untransformed or anti-development. So we will use these permissions and licenses to stall. You find that a project is in the plan, a developmental project or an infrastructure project is in the plans of the
Okay.
Eastern Seaboard Development.
Okay.
But the regulator is having some other plans or
Okay.
not to allow progress.
Okay.
Last 2 points.
No, sir. I think that's it. Thank
Let
you.
me go to recommendation.
Okay.
Program director. We are recommending program director that each and every move we are doing must be done in a project, in a DDM approach. DDM doesn't mean the district approach. DDM is meaning we sit down and as all the stakeholders and decision makers, not necessarily escalating everything to our principal. We need to sit, if we are involved in something, we sit together, we
Okay.
decide, we come with a decision. We need to also have a research on these enablers, dependencies, and
Thank you.
yes.
Thank you, sir.
The last one.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll take the next one. Thank you. Just be brief, direct to the point, please.
Thanks very much, Dr. Director.
Sir.
Name is Paul Fusani, Convocation Executive Member of WSU. Have 2 comments and 2 questions.
Questions?
Yes. Firstly, I would like to thank MISA, Department of COGTA, of course, led Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. Brought here will change the lives of those from the working class families. Plus, the 1.4 billion of grants intervention. So you have helped us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we would also like to thank Minister for choosing this point of Cooperative in making sure that this summit does convene here. Also thank our Vice Chancellor in making sure that it is indeed a reality. I just have 2 questions to your college. I'm impressed by the job you are backgrounds. The question I have, do you perhaps have partnerships with academic institutions like universities, as well as industry? Do you have those partnerships with institutions of learning as well as industry? So that when you are done with your students, they get so much
Okay.
employment agent. Thanks very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. The last one, this side. you, thank you, thank you. If the mic won't let us down, you may use that to respond. Okay. Maybe you should. Yeah. Try it again. Thank you, thank you. I think at this stage we may want to wrap the session. There are still other panels after lunch. Now, as we wrap and conclude, let's thank. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. As we conclude, Alvin Toffler, many know, he's written a lot. The illiterate of the 21st century. And he says, I quote, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who can't read and write, but it will be those who learn, who will not unlearn and relearn, unquote. Meaning that the things that we think we know, some of them we need to throw them out and get to the new thinking. While our own Mr. Credo Mutwa was quoted by Mike Boone in the book, The African Way, The Power of Interactive Leadership, he quoted Mr. Credo Mutwa, our African leader, our author and oral historian, who says, I quote, "Today in Southern Africa, we need many lamps to be lighted to prevent the night from once more reclaiming our land. These lights must take many forms. They must take the forms of actions done, like Muteo is doing, actions done, act and deliver. The forms of structures built. Today we talk of the DDM model, it must be implemented and take the forms of books written, curriculum. That is why we have the higher education to say, let's revisit our curriculum. Let's align it to the needs out there in order to bring a new light upon our land. And as I conclude also, this one is attributed to Albert Einstein. He says, in the middle of difficulty, no matter how difficult this is, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunities. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, panelists. We take a break. Let me hand over to the DG to direct us in terms of that. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, once again. We have now come to our lunch break. I'll be offering you some time for 45 minutes. So we must be back in this room sharp at about 2. So you can be served lunch if you take the stairs and you go all the way up to the dining hall. The ushers are there to actually usher you out. Please also make sure that you have a body break. And as I would say, drink a lot of water and also take some oxygen. So thank you very much. I'll see you all back. Thank you.